Hey guys, welcome to the RENSO'n'sYard. Today I'll be attending the Deboss Garage International Car Show with my 1998 Suzuki Carry. If you've never seen this vehicle before, come on closer, I'll show you around. This little truck started its life in Japan and it was imported to Canada about 4 years ago. I've been caring for it for about 3 years now, and since then I've done quite a few modifications to it. Starting off with the wheels. As in Japan, these trucks are equipped with 12-inch rims. When they're brought into Canada, in order to pass the safety inspection, they have to be upgraded to either 13s or 14s. And this is the wheels that the import dealer put on. But I find that they're a bit too fancy for my liking. So I found those wheels off of a junkyard Kia. They're just basic steel wheels, and they came with a set of tires, so it's a good fit. And I don't have to worry about scratching them when I go out in the bush. Because I use this truck mostly for work, but I also enjoy bringing it to local car shows on the weekends. It's really the best of both worlds. Another really nice feature is that it has the dumping box. So if you come into the inside, I have a little electric button that powers the hydraulic pump to lift up the bed. Easy as that. And then, if I want to take off the sides, that's something I can do. You can just dump right off like that. Or I can put them back up. After my first winter with this truck, I found that it had a real hard time starting in the coldest conditions. So I have upgraded the battery to one that has double the factory cranking amps, and I also upgraded the starter wires to some thicker gauge. I'll now walk you around to show you the other mods. Here at the back, I've upgraded the taillights to some LEDs, and I also added these bump stops I borrowed from a loading dock. As a bed liner, I'm using this mat that's from a horse trailer, and it's very nice when I'm hauling around some firewood or some rocks. After my first year with the truck, I also decided to give it a bit of a paint job, as when I got it, all the panels were a different shade of white. So I pulled it into my garage and gave it a homemade paint job. It was my first time doing paint, and I think it turned out pretty decent. On the inside, you'll notice that this is a very rare left-hand drive model. It actually came from Japan like this. On the inside, I've put in a radio and using some speaker from a home theater system. I've added the storage compartment. I upgraded the defroster with something a bit beefier to keep everything warm in winter. Because interestingly enough, these trucks don't have an actual heater core. They just deflect air off of the main radiator and bring it into the cab. I also trimmed the bottom of the dash to give myself a bit more legroom. That's the height at which it used to be all the way across. That's the controller for the dump bed. This is my favorite mod that I've added to this truck. It's an auto dimming mirror that also has the thermometer and compass function. This is off of a GMC Yukon that I parted out. Nice. The sun visors I got from the same Kia as I did for the wheels. And coming down to the engine compartment, which is below the passenger seat, I used basement waterproofing membrane as sound deadener, because that thing's actually just a few cents per square foot. And overall, the biggest mod I did was to replace the carburetor. And I used one that's off of a Yamaha ATV, because that's what was available to me. They're both rated for a 600cc engine, and it runs good. The upside of that is that I got to delete pretty much all of the vacuum lines, and I also now have manual control over the choke. So that's pretty nice when it's kind of cold. And the downside is that I've had a bit of a struggle to tune it, because it's really just cobbled together from bits of plumbing and what I can find laying around. So there's not many helpful guides out there to let me know what to do. I also had to add a fuel pressure regulator because the stock carburetor used a system that had a fuel return, and this one is returnless. So I had to lower the fuel pressure way down to 1 psi so it wouldn't flood itself all the time. I'm guessing you guys are pretty excited to hear it run, so let's do that for you. We have the key as usual, and the choke cable is coming out of the firewall here between my legs. So I'll give it a bit of a tug, turn the key, and get it started. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at my mini truck. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And make sure to check out the Deboss Garage Car Show website and vote for your favorite car. Good luck to everyone!